right, everybody, welcome to BO Boys for Wednesday, September 10th. It's a raw feed. We're doing it live in studio. I'm Clayton.
Yeah, I'm Pat. Clayton, star member is rolling on. That is our star-studded September. We had, of course, Chad Hartigan, director of The Threesome, on our last episode. And now we have, I'm going to say, one of the biggest stars we've ever had on the BO Boys. I am willing to say this guest ranks that highly. We have a true movie star of the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, star of Barbie, star of the upcoming The Lost Bus. America Ferrera is here on the BO Boys. America, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, of course. Hi, Pat and Clayton.
So you've done so much in your career. You've walked red carpets. You've been the star of the biggest movie of the year. Where does guesting on the BO Boys rank? Is this top 3 or top 2? I'm not going to say we're the number 1, but in your long career, how high does being on the show rank?
Listen, I'm going to say podcasts that I've done for my friends, somewhere in the top 10 for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll take it.
We'll take it.
This was a priority for the marketing department of the Lost Bus that I get on this podcast and talk to you guys about the box office weekend.
Yes. Paul Greengrass himself put in a call to our people. He called up our VP of interns, Christopher, and said, can we get America on this show? This is very important to the Lost Bus, the theatrical box office. We have to get her on. Christopher worked it out. Yeah.
I'm thrilled.
So, America, first thing, before we get into Lost Bus, you were the star of Barbie. Biggest hit of the year it came out. Just a massive box office historical moment. That is what Barbie is. It opened to $162 million. It was part of the Barbenheimer phenomenon. We do have to ask, because when that movie came out, the BO Boys talked a lot about how Barbie raised Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer sort of rode the coattails of Barbie. So we have to ask you, can you say, does Christopher Nolan owe you and the cast of Barbie money, basically?
I mean, I think it was pretty much proven scientifically that people who couldn't get in to see Barbie went and saw Oppenheimer instead. I feel like that was that's a scientific fact. So
it's called Barbie. It's called Barbie Runoff.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the check's coming in the mail any day now.
It really should be. And you've got our entire audience, the wanna BO boys, wanna BO girls, wanna BO people. We will campaign in the streets for Nolan to finally pay up and send you guys a check. You, Margot, Ryan, get John Cena a couple of bucks. I mean, he did his cameo as the mermaid. Nolan should send him a 20. You guys are owed this money from Nolan.
I really appreciate you taking up this cause, Pat. I think it's a really noble one in this time.
Yes.
Really. Equality.
There's a lot of issues right now that people should be paying attention to, but they cannot forget about Christopher Nolan owing money to the Barbie cast, because
never forget.
Never
let them forget.
Yes, exactly. So, all right, I'm glad to hear that we are all together on this. And you're right, the science is in. A lot of people.
It's science. It's math and numbers and undisputable.
Yes. Barbie runoff phenomenon. So where the moment that you heard the news that Barbie, because you'd been in hit movies before, you'd been in franchises, but when that opening weekend number came in, that Barbie had made $162 million, take me there. What was your reaction? Who told you? Was family around? What was that like? Because so few people get to hear my movie just made $162 million opening weekend. What was that like for you?
It's funny because I don't remember. I mean, obviously I remember that the numbers were good. But what I remember about that weekend was that Thursday, because I live in New York, seeing crowds of people walking around in pink. That's what I remember. Old people, young people, groups of girls, groups of boys, and I remember thinking, whoa, wow, this is crazy. People are walking around in pink, groups of people. It might be a big weekend. And it was a crazy weekend because we were also on strike. The actors went on strike right before we'd been on this huge global press tour. And then we got, we went on strike and we had to go home and shut down the press. And so we weren't really like engaged in that way the week leading up to it. And, we were just really afraid that without that last week of press, no one was going to know that Barbie was coming out in the theater because we just hadn't told anyone enough. They hadn't gotten enough Barbie branded yogurt and shoes and what have you. But, I think that my experience of that weekend was how crazy, it felt like a collective cultural moment, at least where I was in New York City. And then the numbers, listen, I told you I am not the likely guest for this show because I feel like I don't really even know, what numbers are good and what numbers are bad. Like I have a rough sense, but I'm not like, this is the biggest opening of all time.
Right.
I mean, we knew that it did well. My moment that weekend was actually I took my family on vacation after like lots and lots of traveling and work and being away from them. And we were in Costa Rica and we were like high up on a mountain in Costa Rica getting gas at a gas station. And a local woman like stopped me and said, Barbie. And I thought, oh my God, like something's happening. So it was this really weird dichotomy of like, yes, we'd engaged in this huge global press tour. And of course, you had to be living under a rock to not know that Barbie was coming out. But also I was just like, we were on strike. We weren't engaging with the press. I took my family on vacation and still it was like, it was still present. And I feel like that's when I kind of understood like, oh, wow, this thing has some reach.
Did that woman in Costa Rica come over to you and also then whisper, and Barbie's going to have the third largest Monday single day take of all time? Because if she did, I also want to get her on the BO Boys here.
I didn't grab her number, so I don't know that I could connect you to her. But I don't know that she had that foresight. I think that's what people come to this podcast for,
Yes,
not just any old person can't give you that prediction. Did you predict that? Did you say that Barbie was going to have the?
So this is a big thing for listeners of the show. For months and months, I knew Barbie was going to be gigantic. And not going to name names here, but there was someone else on the show who didn't predict that it would be as big as it was. And I'm not going to say who, but I was the one who knew this was going to be the biggest movie of the year, and other people on the show.
Great, Pat. I love this because we have the biggest celebrity we've ever had on here, and I'm getting thrown under a bus, which is great because America is the star of a movie called The Lost Bus. So I understand why you did that. That was so synergy.
Segue.
It was perfect synergy.
Yes,
to throw me under the bus.
Yes, and that is that one of the possible taglines for your movie, The Lost Bus, is throw your friend under the bus. Come see The Lost Bus. Was that discussed as a tagline? No.
Absolutely not.
Interesting.
I mean, I think America's done enough press and knows that there's a give and take when it comes to these shows, and you got to make it interesting. If we both were just saying, "Oh, it's going to be huge," that wouldn't be interesting. But of course, listen, America knows how it goes.
Yeah,
I do, Clayton. I agree. You need a little bit of tension. People want to. They want to pick a side to root for. You had to take one for the team and be the opposing side. I mean, you were wrong, but
And you know what? The great thing about this show is that I wouldn't say I'm wrong because the things just didn't turn out the way that, I said they would, which doesn't mean it's wrong. It's just, my perception wasn't what reality was. But what I would say is I've never been happier to be wrong because of these box office numbers. When we're wrong about how low box office is and it goes over, that is the best way to be wrong, as some people would say.
Right. Yeah. Right. It's being a gambling addict where you always win. Which is
absolutely
the greatest. So Lost Bus, that is coming out on September 19th from Apple. Now I could say I've seen this film. I saw the world premiere.
Yeah.
Fantastic. This is a true big screen blockbuster. So America, could you talk about seeing that movie on the big screen for the first time just a week ago. I know you had seen advanced sort of screenings, but seeing it with an audience in Toronto last week, what was
Yeah.
that feeling like of just being in the middle of a crowd that got to experience this huge Paul Greengrass action thriller drama movie?
Yeah, I mean, it's so special and it's so much rarer these days to get to have that experience of getting to experience a big movie made for a big screen in a packed theater of 1,700 people, watching it the way it was made to be watched. And the sound editing and mixing alone is such a massive part of the experience. And it was just I mean, it was wonderful because I had seen it a couple times, to different versions of it, over the year. And and but you never know until you're sitting with the audience, like, where they're gonna laugh at random shit,
Mhm.
where they're gonna cheer, which they did, which was so exciting and so fun. And yeah, it was really awesome. And I would say, and I know everyone says that, right? Movies are made to be seen in the movie theater. Go see it in the movie theater. And I agree. I love watching movies in the movie theater. That for me is, that's one of my joys in life, is
Mhm.
getting to experience movies in movie theaters with strangers. Um, but this movie, I mean, I'm a huge Paul Greengrass fan too. Like, I love his movies and I've wanted to work with him for a long time. Um, but this is one of those movies where, like, you want to watch it in the theater. Like,
Mhm.
it's just gonna be that much better of an experience of the movie making. Uh, if you appreciate all of the elements that go into making an incredible film, like, Paul is a master of that. And he doesn't hold back on any of those elements. And the story is beautiful, and the story is my lane, it's my realm, it's what I could go and focus on, was how do I hold my character's journey and tell the story. And I was there, but that was only one piece of the movie. As I
Mhm.
watched the film come together with color and effects and sound and music, and the score is beautiful as well. And, like, when I saw it come together, it had never been more clear to me that, like, there are some movies that get made in camera. You know what the movie is. You point
Mhm.
the camera, you shoot, you made your movie. And then there are movies that are movie magic, and they're made to be that big, massive experience. And personally, I feel like this is really one of those movies. So I do hope that people go and experience it in the theater. I think they'll have a really fun time.
Yeah, I mean, and you look at Apple this summer, they had F1 with Brad Pitt, a vehicle movie,
Cars.
did gigantic business.
And
This is
what's bigger than cars?
buses are bigger than cars.
Buses.
This is the logical follow-up to go from Apple's F1 in June. Now you take it up a notch and we go on a bus. So I'm going to ask you, working on Lost Bus, how was it working with the bus?
Mhm.
What is your memory of, obviously there's other people in this movie, there's Matthew McConaughey
Yeah,
and
yeah,
and
he's
so
great.
on. He's great, but we want to know, what was it like, America, working with this bus? Was it multiple buses, the way they have different lassies in a lassie movie, or was this one bus that you got to connect with? What was the bus work like?
It was multiple buses. I had to
Oh
build
wow.
multiple relationships with multiple buses.
So it is a lassie
When there's,
situation.
like, a kid and you gotta work with, like, triplets or twins.
Yes, so it's like the
Um,
Olsen twins of buses
Oh,
right,
they had to
right.
switch the buses out because they couldn't work for a very long time because 'cause they're
going to
young
class.
buses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they actually, I don't even know what the grand total is, but I know it was more than 3 buses, because
Wow.
the way we shot this movie was a mix of, like, practical, like, on the lot, moving through space, on the bus, um, like, backlot shooting, and then there was a bus on a jib in a sound stage surrounded by like volume screens and also blue screen, and we would go back and forth. We often would shoot a scene, up to 3 or 4 times throughout the whole run of the shoot, and oftentimes we would like go out on the lot, and the way this is one of the most exciting parts of how Paul decided to shoot this. He was chasing a very specific light for parts of the movie. He wanted that golden hour, that magic hour of the sun going down, glowing, to help mimic and enhance the glow of the fire. And again, like these events took place at like 9. I mean, started very early in the morning, as early as 6 a.m. And the fire and the sun was blotted out, and it was pitch black by 10:30 in the morning. So, we have these very early morning scenes where there's a fire meant to be glowing and raging. And so he was chasing this 1 hour, this magic hour, which was generally 6:30 to 7:45-ish. We would come in, we would rehearse a sequence of scenes that was up to like 35 minutes long, like a number of scenes. And we would rehearse that as many times as it took to get all the technical pieces right. I walk 22 kids into a room, I play with the kids, I talk to the principal, I go back to the kids, I talk to the principal, I go to the kids, I wait for Matthew, the bus shows up, Matthew comes in, we line the kids up, we walk them to the bus, we get on the bus drives away. Like literally, like that entire sequence we did in one take.
Wow.
And so at magic hour, we started and we basically had time to do 3 takes, 3 oneers. I mean, and of course there were multiple cameras going, so it wasn't like you're getting one take in one camera, but we had to use the light that we had. And often the first take was too bright and the last take was too dark. So you're really just kind of like aiming for that middle take in our time. And it was amazing and thrilling, and it felt like doing theater but like out in the world, and it was so exciting. I loved that process. I don't know that all actors would love that process on a film set, but I really loved it. And so what it meant was we'd go do those scenes out in the real world, and then the next morning we'd go onto the stage and kind of redo the scenes with more control. We had 22 kids, and some of, a lot of the bus driving was pretty not risk-free,
Right,
and Matthew was doing a lot of the driving. Matthew's a fantastic bus driver, by the way.
Has he ever been a bus driver in real life? Has Matthew McConaughey driven a city bus and in between gigs, because he wasn't always a movie star. I'm sure at some point, he did
He's
a
been
gig.
a movie star a pretty long time. I don't think he ever drove a bus, but I know that he did drive like an RV, right?
Okay.
Like an Airstream or something. Like he drove an RV for a really long time.
Right.
So he was super comfortable driving a very large vehicle.
And he would drive it really fast. That's the word on the street.
Really fast.
Yeah.
But also like had such like an enormous amount of control. I felt very safe when Matthew was driving. He's very good at it.
Well, it's good that he has a fallback career, because you just never know.
You never know.
You
I mean,
just
obviously
don't ever
you're
know.
set, movie star, but McConaughey, there might be a day, hey, maybe I could get a bus driving gig. But for the marketing for this film, because this comes out September 19th, obviously it's going to be on Apple TV Plus in a few weeks, but we want people to see this in the movie theater, just break records for its release on September 19th. Do you have any last minute marketing push plan where, I'm going to pitch this to you, get you and Matthew driving buses in the next week? Can you get the stars of this film? It would go viral, driving, whether it's a city bus or, ideally a school bus, let the kids have their phones out, make TikToks. But could you imagine how viral it would be
I
for
feel
kids
like
to get on a bus and you're there sitting at the wheel?
Yeah.
That's the ingenuity that we need in marketing thinking. Pat, I really feel like that's a little bit what this marketing campaign is missing. Some of that excitement. I do worry that it wasn't necessarily like a pleasant bus ride.
Right.
So, inviting people on to the Lost Bus experience is maybe not like that welcoming of an invitation. Like I don't know that everybody wants to go through that harrowing experience.
But look at the Jaws ride at Universal.
People love that.
People love that kind of stuff.
And what if you just invite a bunch of influencers? Because
Yes.
I feel like they would be fine with that adversity because it'd be good for their TikToks.
But then I think those same influencers would tear us apart for taking real life events that were very traumatizing to a lot of people and making them into like a Universal Studios ride.
Well, I think
that is true. Yeah, the influences.
Yeah.
But you know what? All buzz is good buzz in the end. But yeah, maybe we'll keep thinking on the terrifying bus drive. But yeah, this movie, it comes out in a couple of weeks. I just cannot wait for people to see this on the big screen.
Well, I want to know, what are your predictions about how it's going to do?
So it's tough because we don't know the screen count. With these Apple releases, we don't know if it's going to be playing in AMC's and Regals, know. Listen, here's the thing with this movie. If this were getting a 3,000 theater release in September, this is an easy, I think, having seen it 30 million plus opening weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is, I think, would be a slam doink, but we just don't know what Apple's plans are or how wide it's actually going to go on September 19th. But here's the thing. If people get out there and pack the theaters that it's opening in, we'll leave Apple with no choice but to keep it in theaters and to expand.
Yeah, platform. Yeah, I mean, it can become one of those things where it platforms. And they didn't even expect to do that.
Yes. Yeah. So it's tough to predict, but I do think we've got several causes we're fighting for today. We're obviously fighting for Christopher Nolan to repay the cast of Barbie for what it made on Oppenheimer.
Right.
And got to get people to pack the theater on September 19th. So Apple, they look at the, Steve Cook. What's his name? Steve Cook? Tim Cook?
Steve Cook, you got it.
Steve was the other one.
Yeah, whoever it is that's in charge this week, they just get that report and they're like, "We got to keep this thing in theaters. It's a phenomenon." So
that's from your lips, right? Thank you for being such real ones, and taking up the causes that truly matter. I really appreciate that.
Now more than ever. So before you go, just want to get your predictions because this is our weekend preview episode.
Okay.
So some big movies are coming out this weekend. First one is Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues. America, are you a Spinal Tap person?
I can't say that I am.
And
yeah, there's a lot of cameos in this movie. And we were wondering if you were asked to cameo in this movie.
I was not.
Okay. Or did your representative say maybe she would not be interested and it didn't even cross your desk? That's also possible.
That's right. So what do you think now? This is a sequel to a 1981 movie about aging rock stars who were aging in 1981.
Okay.
We've now got a 45-year later sequel. It's Harry Shearer, Christopher Guest. Who's the other one? Not Eugene Levy.
Oh God, this is gonna Michael McKean.
And Michael McKean.
The great Michael McKean.
And Rob Reiner directed.
I do love these people. These names are fabulous.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're in their 80s or 90s now. Do you think this is a movie that will appeal to the Gen Z generation? Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues.
Wait, what are we? We're not Gen Z. We're millennials, right?
Well, I am Gen X.
I'm Gen X. He is a millennial.
I identify as Gen X, but yes, you are a millennial, America. So we're millennials / Gen X.
So, but who are we targeting? We're targeting the youngins, the Zers, or the us people?
Well, I mean, the ideal is always to get the youngins because that's who goes to the movie.
Who goes.
So
is that right now? The young ones are the ones who go to the movies. Is that true?
The young ones are the ones who can make something gigantic.
Okay.
Like getting the Gen
my
Xers.
first question would be like, how's it tracking on TikTok? Like, do we have TikTokers, pulling up old clips from the old Spinal? Are they like?
That's a good question.
You know what I mean? Like that would be my first question.
Yeah.
Are there good memes? Have they been making good memes? Because then I feel like they'll get the people there.
I don't think they have been making memes.
Yeah, has Stonehenge? Is there a Stonehenge challenge on TikTok?
Yeah, I haven't been seeing anything about the memes. I think you're right. I don't think they've been cutting up the clips. So yeah, your prediction, Spinal Tap, you're more leaning
Listen,
down.
maybe this is a new saying. If it ain't TikToking, it ain't box office-ing.
Yeah. Yeah. I
That
think
can't
that is
really rhyme.
even though it doesn't rhyme, because you said it, we will print it on official BO Boys merch,
Printed.
and you'll get a percentage of it.
I don't know. I feel
Mainly,
like if that's the target you need to make something really work and sing at the box office, then you need them talking about it. You need them
yeah.
to be like, "Oh, this cool old movie that I found out about that makes me very cool and I can make memes and recreate things." I don't know, guys. I know nothing about this. I'm totally talking out of my ass. I'm not even on TikTok, so I don't know anything.
So the other big new movie we want to get your take on, because it so directly compares to The Lost Bus. There's a movie called The Long Walk coming out this weekend. It's based on a Stephen King adaptation. It's about people who in a future world have to keep walking or else they get killed by the government or a gang, or I don't know what it was. But
and it's dystopic in the movie,
dystopic.
but for me that's great because I love long walks.
Yeah.
I would be great in the long walk dystopia.
Yeah,
It really
Clayton
feels like there's something like, yeah, like if you don't want to get on the lost bus, then take the long walk. Like
Yeah.
that's really good, diversifying for the audience.
But I
there's a
think
synergy. I mean, can we get these two movies to Barbenheimer or do some kind of, get the cast of The Lost Bus to take a long walk, get the people from The Long Walk
to
to
get on
on
the
a bus.
bus.
Yeah, get
You
Spike
know,
Lee involved, get some like DVD sales for Get on the Bus.
I
I mean, I
think
think
that you guys are not just a box office podcast. I think you're also like, I don't know, marketing gurus
yes,
too.
100%.
Well,
Yeah.
as you know, you have to spend money to make money. You need to market, you need to market these movies so people go see it.
Well, that's
And,
very true.
and we're trying to
Yeah,
help people. We're trying to help people find ways to do this.
So
yeah, I agree.
So
agree.
I think right now the over under on the long walk is about 28 million. So America, can you give us again dystopian future? It's about you're going to a movie theater to watch people walk.
I would say it's more like let's go 15. 15 is what they're looking at.
15 is the over under. Yeah. So what is your over under on a $15 million opening weekend for the long walk?
15. What happened to 28?
I had I had some bad information there.
Yeah, bad information. Okay. I'm gonna say it makes more than that.
Great.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's
it's like if it's dystopian and it's about like people potentially being killed if they stop walking. Like I feel like that's what people are really into these days.
Yes.
They want to go to the theater and see that.
Yeah, they want to see people walk this weekend, but then on September 19th, they ain't going to want to see walking. They're only going to want to see bus ride and The Lost Bus.
That's right.
In theaters. Anything else you want to tell the wannabe boys, wannabe girls, wannabe people about The Lost Bus?
I would just say to the BO people, like, get to the theater. Like, you're not going to regret it. It's a freaking Paul Greengrass classic, and it's kind of edge of your seat. I mean, I've seen it 3 times, and I honestly, this last time, Pat, I was like, my body is shaking and I know what happens. Like I was there. I saw it. I've also seen the movie. This is my 3rd time seeing the movie. Like it really hits something very deep. And so it's like a thrilling kind of it's a ride. It's really a ride, excuse the pun. But I think that if you're a BO fan, then you're going to want to catch this one in the theaters. And I hope you do. And I hope you love it.
And you know what other movie people knew the ending of and they still went in droves? Titanic.
Exactly.
I know. I saw it 5 times.
Exactly.
And you knew how that ended.
Yeah, exactly.
I did.
Yeah. And every time you wanted it to end differently and it didn't.
Yeah. So there you go. So everyone go see The Lost Bus. America, thank you so much for joining us on the BO Boys.
Thanks,
Obviously,
guys.
you're welcome back anytime. Whenever there's a movie that you feel like I got to predict an opening weekend for this movie.
Well, now I'm going to be paying attention and seeing if I was right about The Long Walk. Now I'm like, now I'm invested. I'm a very competitive person, so that's all it takes for me.
You're going to get sucked in. You'll be listening to this. You're going to be reading the great Scott Mendelson every week, Box Office Daddy. You're going to be in this world. We're going to have to pull you out of it. at some point.
This is my entree.
Yes.
I'm coming in.
Yeah, you're
Lovely.
in. Happy to have you.
Thanks,
Thank you so
guys.
much. And everyone go see The Lost Bus September 19th.
Thanks so much, guys.
Amazing. I mean, Star Member is just, it's getting bigger and bigger.
Yes. It's going to be hard to top that, but we will, of course, because it's the BO Boys and this is Star Member, and it's going to be our star-studded September. So incredible. I mean, one of the biggest box office stars we've ever had on the show. Of course, we've had Nick Turner, star of Killer Raccoons 2, Dark Christmas in the Dark, biggest comedy movie star of summer 2020, but having America on here is also a huge treat.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So, and again, I've seen The Lost Bus. It is great, and we could only hope and pray that Apple does the right thing, puts this in theaters wide for weeks and weeks and weeks.
I mean, it's funny you say do the right thing, because they didn't do the right thing for Spike with Highest to Lowest.
They didn't do it for Spike, yeah.
But they have a chance here.
Yeah.
With America, Paul Greengrass, and Matthew McConaughey, and those
and that bus.
And those
I've seen
the
this
3
bus.
other buses.
Yeah.
All 3 of those buses.
Yeah, the one thing, and it was a great...
Could you tell the difference between the buses?
I couldn't. I could not tell the difference between the buses.
So they were able to replicate...
They were identical buses.
They were able to replicate the performance. All 3 of those buses replicated the same performance. That's pretty amazing.
I mean, that's just what those buses do.
I know.
You know, that
but,
is...
But, I mean, still, I've seen movies where the buses are like, that's a different bus. That bus ain't... You know, it's not running on the same diesel as the other bus. You know what I mean?
I mean, I've seen The Chaperone starring Triple H, and you could tell all those buses were different. They were on totally different pages.
Yeah. They were in totally different movies. Some of them were checked out.
Yeah. No, there's definitely bus movies. I mean, Speed, that bus, those buses were giving you the same performance the whole way through. But I don't think since Speed, until Lost Bus, I don't think we've ever had a bus performance this good.
That's amazing.
The bus performance in The Lost Bus is by far the best bus performance I've seen in now 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And America's great in it, and Matthew McConaughey is great in it. But let's give the laurels to this bus.
Yeah.
Best bus performance. I mean, we all saw Short Bus. You could tell those buses were on different pages in that movie. This is the best bus performance in 30 years. So, these other movies, so we touched briefly on it. We've got Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues, coming out this weekend. America made a great point. Are kids memeing the scenes from the first movie? I have not seen anything go viral.
It would be the song. So you know, Sex Farm, Big Bottoms, Tonight I'm Gonna Rock You Tonight. You know, those songs would have...
Lick My Love Pump, was that
one never really actually got released.
Okay.
But it's not on the original soundtrack.
Got it.
But I do think that we would have known about that. I do feel like I know enough people who are on TikTok. I'm not on TikTok. Would have sent me a Spinal Tap TikTok.
Yes, by now for sure.
Yeah.
And if it was going to happen, we're sitting here on the Wednesday before opening weekend. If you know, the mime scene from the first one went viral, it would have happened by now.
Yeah.
They're really leaning into it goes to 11. Like I see that, I think, on every piece of marketing material for this movie. Is this what happens when you get past 11? They think that is the stickiest part of the first movie. They think that the young generation, all they keep saying is it goes to 11. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if it goes to 11.
Because so many things go higher. Like, I think that joke is a very 80s joke. Nothing went higher than 10 back then.
Yeah.
Right.
Everything goes way past 10 at this point.
Yeah. So I think that's one of those things where it feels a little old of the joke.
Yeah. It's also going to be upsetting because the opening weekend absolutely will not be going to 11.
Oh, it'd be lucky to. It's going to be.
Can it get to 1.1 so that there's an 11 there?
I think it goes higher than 1.1.
Okay.
I do think.
But there's no way this go. And do you think when they greenlit it, they said, okay, we're going to get past 11 opening weekend for sure?
you would. I mean, listen. You green light a movie because you think it's going to succeed.
Yeah.
But yeah, an $11 million opening weekend. I think even for them, they were probably like, that'd be great.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah. I am curious. It's such an old movie. And like we said, when it came out, the joke was that the characters were washed up.
Mm-hmm.
Is there at least enough of a curiosity factor to see people this old on a big screen? Like, do you think more people will go to Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues, for the comedy and the promise of comedy, or for the freak show factor of the whole enterprise?
Well, I mean,
they'll take either. The money's green either way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking everybody's hoping for comedy.
Yeah,
because these are like well-respected actors in other aspects, right? I mean, Michael McKean.
They're all listen, we love Spinal Tap. We're not here to say these are bums.
Yeah,
these are comedy geniuses.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just Harry Shearer's description on Howard Stern of his screening of The Day the Clown Cried makes him a comic genius just for that interview, never mind all the sketches and all the...
I mean, that's something I would see over this, is if there was a full-length description of The Day the Clown Cried that Harry Shearer did, with those sort of, animations they use for documentaries when they can't find footage.
Like The Kid Stays in the Picture style, and it's just Harry Shearer talking about the day he saw The Day the Clown Cried.
Yeah, and he's explaining the plot of the movie along with what he did during that day.
Yes.
That's something I would see, and I feel like that would open higher than this.
Yeah, that would be huge. That would be huge. That would go to 11 for sure.
It'd be the day Harry Shearer saw The Day the Clown Cried.
Yes. No, that would be big. That would be big. I don't think the success of this movie then will allow that movie to be made, the film that should be.
Well, they should have made that first and then use the publicity from that to make this.
Yes. I mean, we talked about this with Podcast Jesus, Kirk Minahan, but this sequel, and I do get this stunt aspect of waiting until they're so old to do it. There is a comedy in that. But if this movie is made in that late 90s when Christopher Guest movies were pretty hot, Best in Show, Waiting for Guffman, and then they did Spinal Tap 2 in 2002.
When the DVDs, like they had a DVD reissue of Spinal Tap that I know everybody bought when everybody was buying DVDs. That's when you put a sequel in theaters.
Yeah. I think the audience that rediscovered this movie, they're too old. There's the audience that loved it when it came out. Then there's the audience that was rediscovering it in college over the course of 20 years. But those people are about to be shipped into old age homes. The people who rediscovered the old Spinal Tap movie in college, they might be too old to get to the theater this weekend.
Well, and we're disregarding this having competition, head-to-head competition with the old farts, with Downton Abbey. The Downton Abbey, the last Downton Abbey movie.
The grand finale.
The
end game of Downton Abbey.
Absolutely.
The portals will open.
The last rites of Downton Abbey.
Yeah.
Yeah, the portals will open, and the one old English woman will come out, and then the old English guy will come out, and then Paul Giamatti will come out.
Yep. Cap to your left.
Great.
And it's Dame Maggie Smith or whoever.
Yeah.
Is Judi Dench in these?
Probably.
Someone
who looks like her is in it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So this is squarely aimed at the old farts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that's the thing with this movie, is that you couldn't put out Spinal Tap 2 at a worse date.
Yeah.
Because this is where all the old farts are going to be.
And this is promising the old farts a grand finale.
Yes.
Spinal Tap is saying the end continues.
So and we know it's a joke, but they're hoping that if this does well enough, it could be Spinal Tap 3.
Right. Has there ever been... I know Spinal Tap they've done all those things over the years, obviously guested on The Simpsons, and they were musical guests on
They
SNL.
had a TV movie.
I was going to say...
Like The Wind.
Okay, so then was that a feature length thing? Has there ever been an animated Spinal Tap series? Like what is
No.
this is the longest follow-up they've done.
I think, I think like early 90s, they did Break Like the Wind. And I believe that was, forgive me if
Like a
I'm wrong, it
DVD
was like
featurette?
HBO. I think it was
Okay.
an HBO movie. And,
It was on after Tanner 88.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So reruns of Tanner 88.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So there has been a follow up, but it wasn't a big screen follow up.
Got it. So yeah, Downton Abbey, the grand finale. I mean, I gotta say, I have never been fully checked into the Downton Abbey franchise, but this is a franchise. This is IP. This has been a hit TV show. That first movie opened big. Second movie was a drop off, but it did come out, I think, September 21. It came out a very COVID-y box office time. I think this movie is going to overperform. I do think the grand finale aspect, the sort of anyone could die, anyone could come back to life. We don't know, this could be you're resurrecting the butler or the butler marries the queen. Again, I don't know what happens in these shows, but for the fans of this is a anything could happen situation. And it's a you've got to go this weekend or else you're going to get spoiled.
Well, the tracking is very high on this.
What is the tracking on this?
So, according to a Box Office Pro, the tracking on this is 18 to 25.
Higher. I think higher. I think this is going to go higher. I think this is going to be, again, we're coming off a weekend where that Conjuring movie just did almost 2.5 to 3 times all the projections.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
And this could be scarier than The Conjuring. People love horror. I think Downton Abbey, the grand finale, could give people what they got out of The Conjuring last weekend.
Listen, I don't want to be the poo-poo guy.
Okay.
But I do think Conjuring.
Remember what happened with Barbie? We just talked about in America.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, by the way. So
I had to throw you under the lost bus.
Of course you had to. It was a great transition.
Yeah.
Of course you had to do that to me. So somebody you see all the time, sit across from twice a week. And then a celebrity guest comes on and you immediately, just throw me under the bus.
Under the bus. And it also elevates me, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so, people know, they listen to this show. Kirk listens to the show. He couldn't expect anything more from you.
No,
less from you.
He was listening on a run because he's always, if he's not broadcasting, he's either reading or he's running. He was listening on a run. He heard me throw you under the bus. He didn't miss a stride. He just kept going. He probably said to himself, just like it. That's just like Pat.
Yeah. He could have seen it. Talk about prognostication. He was like, wait, I'm waiting for this to happen.
Yes. He knew it was coming. Again, he never broke stride.
Yeah.
Because it was not surprising. So,
but I don't think that we can say everything is just going to go over expectations all of a sudden.
But
the last one didn't do all that well. Again, yes, this is the finale. No, that one wasn't COVID-y.
So the second movie didn't come out spring of or fall of 21 or fall of 22?
No, I don't believe so. Maybe 22. Yeah. I don't. Let's see. What was the?
We've got to settle this. So
you take a look.
So what are the reasons why you are thinking that it's going to be on? It seems like you're around where the tracking is or a little lower. So why do you think that Downton Abbey is not going to be on a rise for its grand finale? What are you hearing out in these streets? And the
2022
May 2022. It's still not, that's the time where it took Top Gun Maverick to turn things around.
Yeah.
So that, May 2022, is that coming out the same weekend as Top Gun Maverick actually? Or the weekend before?
Downton Abbey.
That might be the Maverick opening weekend. No, it's the weekend before. So Downton Abbey, A New Era, aka Downton Abbey 2, came out a week before Top Gun Maverick. Came out a week before Top Gun Maverick. So
when you say overperform, what do you think it's going to do? Do you think it's going to do 40?
No, I think it could hit 30.
Okay, but that's not overperforming. That's just
over expectations. 20. The high end is 25. If
well,
I think it could hit 33 million, that's an overperformance.
Well, the high end is 25, and that was from Box Office Pro from a couple weeks ago. So we could be looking at. I thought you were thinking this thing's gonna do like a Conjuring and make like 6.
No, but I mean, we'll get to our predictions, but I think high end. I mean, the last movie opened to $7 million. So I think this movie is going to do multiples of that.
Yeah, of course.
I think this grand finale aspect is big. I think it is anything could happen, any portal could open, and any English actor could walk out of one of these portals in this movie. And that's a big draw.
Yeah.
That's a big draw.
I mean, and then the last movie we have to talk about, and we, of course, are going to talk about it more after it's released.
Yeah.
It's this Demon Slayer movie. And now,
how big could this be?
I mean, from this article, 40 to 50.
Wow.
But again, now I'm going to be the guy. I think there's more. I think
wow.
There's more of that. I do think it could open to bigger. Yeah.
So you're thinking this could be a 60. I mean, if that's the case,
I think it's possible that this hits 60. Yeah.
If that is the case, then the box office is officially on fire.
Yeah.
Officially on fire.
And this is supposed to be a sleepy September.
Sleepy September.
Now, of course, it's Star Member for us, so it's not sleepy.
No.
And none of our months are sleepy.
No.
But
we were wide awake. COVID, this show was on
yeah,
fire.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Other people.
We're reporting on re-releasing of Jurassic Park and talk about that for 3 weeks. And it's the best goddamn radio you've ever heard.
Yeah.
Go back to the archive.
Because you're gonna have the second weekend of The Conjuring.
Yep.
Right. So even if that drops
50%,
50%, yeah, 60%, it's going to be in the 30s. You're going to have Downton Abbey, which we both think is going to do very well. You have Demon Slayer, which is probably going to be number 1.
Wow.
And then you have some holdovers that also could do something.
Well, I mean, the Lost Walk, the long walk. The long walk is a curious one because from the second I saw that trailer, I felt like that could do really well. And it's a tough weekend. I mean, listen, I think the Demon Slayer audience.
That's a crossover there.
Yeah, that is a crossover. It's not a crossover with Downton. I guess it's a crossover with the Long Walk. The Long Walk, maybe that is a long tail play, but I do think that is a great sticky trailer. And it's a movie that gives you the promise of something. If you see this movie, you will see people stop walking and get killed for the fact that they've stopped walking. And I think that's the thing people want to see on a big screen.
And here's the thing. So Mark Hamill is in this movie.
Okay.
But
who you love, you're a huge fan of.
Oh, I mean, Skywalker, what a great character. He's not at all annoying and whiny. He did not destroy a generation of young men who tried to be like him. That is not what happened.
Not what happened.
He is in this movie, but they sort of promoted it, but they sort of didn't. And I think that's a positive because now I got so excited about this movie without realizing he was in it. And I'm still excited and I'll just like hold my nose and watch it.
And listen, maybe it's a Steven Seagal and executive decision situation.
Well, I mean, he is the guy yelling at everybody. So I think he makes it to the end.
Okay.
Or at least close to the end.
So, yeah, it's hard to feel optimistic about everything. Well, I mean, obviously we don't feel optimistic about Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues, but the other new releases I think could all do really well. So let's go through a couple of emails before we get to our top 5s. So we got an email from the great Max Sloth, sent us a great meme of The Conjuring opening. Warner Brothers is now the first studio in history to release 7 films debuting with over 40 million back at domestic box office. And Max says that 7 films. I mean, couple of weeks, one battle after another.
We have our tickets.
We have bought our tickets. We'll be seeing it in IMAX, 70 millimeter. We've got a group going. And the reviews are trickling out, and we're not critics, and the reviews aren't everything, but we've said this for a while. For this movie, the reviews have to be stellar for this to be a hit. This actually does need great reviews to be a hit.
Yes.
And it's looking like it's going to get it.
Yeah.
So it's a right now where we sit, September 10th, it's feeling like we may have something here. The streak may continue.
Yeah.
The greatest streak in sports may continue. So let's take a look real quick. We got an email from Anthony, wannabe oh boy Anthony, who, yes, he joined us at our live show in Los Angeles. Great wannabe oh boy Anthony. He says, hey guys, I think I figured out a way to get Christopher out of med school and, God willing, keep him far, far away from being anywhere near a hospital. As we all know, Ron Howard has resorted to making vertical movies, while every week Christopher is cutting your vertical clips. With his experience, is there a way to get Christopher an internship at Imagine? Or can we have a student exchange-like program where Christopher works for vertical and Ron Howard cuts your verticals? Either way, I think it's better to have Christopher continue killing it with the vertical clips as opposed to killing some poor patient on the operating table, most likely due to being at a kegger the night before. Just trying to save lives here. Wannabe oh boy Anthony. So
here's what I'm going to propose.
Okay.
And he was close.
Yeah.
He was close to the target, but he didn't hit it.
And I wish we had checked in with America if Christopher could have come and worked for her. Like, find
like
some
assistant or something.
Some kind of assistant, again, just to get him away from the operating table. So when she follows up, maybe that'll be something we ask. Can you just take Christopher off our hands?
So Ron Howard has been in show business his entire life.
Mm-hmm.
From when he was a little kid.
Little Opie.
Andy Griffith. Yep. Happy Days. Then became this director.
Yep.
He's had this long career. Maybe he wants a break. Maybe he wants to try something different.
Mm-hmm.
Not forever, but just to dip into somebody else's life. And Christopher would love to be in a position that Ron Howard is at.
Direct some streaming movies, yeah.
Yeah. So what about a life swap?
A life swap.
Why doesn't Ron Howard show up to school,
right,
to these classes, and say, I'm Christopher. Hi, I'm Christopher.
Yeah.
Put the hat over his head, right? Just put the hat down, put the sunglasses on. He's Christopher. He's cutting up cadavers, right? Just to see what it's like. Because remember, David Lee Roth was an EMT.
Yes. If he could be an EMT, Ron Howard could at least cut up cadavers. Yeah.
Right. And then Christopher, give him a shot to do the follow-up to Eden.
Yes. Or direct a Night Shift sequel.
Something. Yeah. The Legacy sequel. Listen, that's the one I've been looking for.
Yes.
Because Winkler's bigger than ever.
Yep. Keaton's bigger than ever. Yeah.
Shelley Long. We'll work on it. We'll figure out how to get her in there. If it's just waving from somewhere.
It could be waving from a distance out of focus.
Yeah. It could be like Matt Damon in the reboot in the silent, Silent Bob reboot.
The way Matt Damon and is always in the Kevin Smith movies. That's how you get Shelley Duvall.
He turns around in a seat and waves.
Yeah, in the Night Shift sequel that Christopher directs, so that he doesn't have to kill people on a surgical table. I think that that is a way to go. I think they could switch, and so we have them switching, and then just because you're switching. I don't know.
Oh, I said the magic word. Okay.
Well, I'm just saying,
this triggered something in you.
You're switching anyway.
Yeah.
Does Ron Howard, does he have a wife? Does he have a dog? That's all I'm saying. While we're switching Ron Howard
with his new medical training,
he cuts the
brain,
soul of his wife.
Soul, not brain, soul.
Soul, brain.
Because that's the thing. You're right.
All of it into a dog. As again, his first part of his medical school training, since he's switching,
is swapping souls.
Is swapping souls with a dog.
Okay.
With a dog.
Swapping his wife into the dog's body against her will.
If she signs up for it, she signs up for it. But again, it's part of the training, so I think she probably wouldn't know. And
well, if she signs a contract, you don't want to see that. You'd rather prefer that she doesn't want to be in that.
And then, Christopher, as a make good, every once in a while, he has to come by and clean up the mess
when she's made a mess on the carpet. Yeah.
So I think that's a great double switch there.
Talk about a streak.
That's
the Warner Brothers streak, and you mentioning your thing the string of episodes.
You and we could go back into the recording here. You said switch first, so I did not bring it up. This was not an episode where I brought it up. This was you brought up switching, and that's the logical.
So part of the
next
thing
step.
is me bringing it up, which I don't like to be part of this thing.
Again, that's not my thing. So let's go to this email. We got an email from Topher, who maybe is.
Yeah, I think so.
It could be Topher Gray.
I think so.
That's the assumption here. So got an email from Topher. Subject is Actors Podcast. And he says, hey guys, I have a question. Whenever you bring up Jason Blum, you usually reference the infamous interview he did on a quote Actors Podcast. I believe you're referring to the podcast hosted by Matt Bellany. However, he is not an actor. As far as I'm aware, he is a former lawyer and writer for the Hollywood Reporter. When you call him actors, that's some kind of inside joke. Sounds like there's a beef between you and you don't want to give this person any attention. So Topher Grace here, someone who is in Hollywood as this writer Topher Grace is. I mean, just long career. He's
Interstellar, Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
The list goes on. Flight Plan?
Some kind of flight-based movie he was in with Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Yes, Flight Plan. I mean, obviously he's the one person on that 70s show who wanted nothing to do with anyone else on that 70s show. So he's got a long career being in the right here. I do not understand how he doesn't know that Matt Bellany at this point is best known as an actor
on the studio.
So could this be a
Flight Risk? I'm sorry.
Flight Risk.
I always do that.
Is this a possibility where this writer, Topher, who's obviously Topher Grace, he didn't get asked to cameo on the studio, and therefore he fully blacked that out. He made sure not to watch it. He would not let any of his people tell him.
Yeah.
And so therefore he just didn't know that Matt Bellany was a star of that show, and now that is his main thing.
Yes. I think that's probably,
that's what happened.
Yeah, he said, I don't want to watch this. I mean, if we're being nicer to Topher
Grace,
maybe he doesn't watch television. Maybe he only watches movies.
Didn't he recut the Star Wars movies?
He recut the prequels.
He recut the prequels. And that is supposedly one of the best movies ever made, is this writer, emailer of ours, Topher Grace, recutting the Star Wars prequels, supposedly is a masterpiece.
People talk about Quentin Tarantino's Kill Bill, the one that's cut together.
Yeah.
That there's not a DVD release of it, and it only shows in theaters once in a while. That is looked as a masterpiece, and it's only equaled by Topher Grace's fan cut.
Yeah.
And I hate to say even fan cut.
No, master cut.
Master cut of the prequels.
Yeah. So that's probably what happened here. He's probably recutting the sequel trilogy, or he's
good luck with that. He talk about putting the sleeves up and trying to get into
he's
cutting up a cadaver. I mean, talk about cutting up a cadaver.
But he's the greatest at this.
Yeah.
Or he's recutting the Meatballs franchise or something, but he's too busy.
If he could cut the Meatball movies into a cohesive one film.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we go from Bill Murray to a horny alien with telekinesis powers.
Right.
If he can make those all fit into a tidy narrative,
he could do it.
He should do it.
Topher Grace, who emailed us, he could definitely do it. And as far as there being a beef, there's no beef. I listened to The Town. Obviously, when Matt Bellany was on the show, he yelled at Clayton on his own show.
On my own show, yeah.
On his own show, but that doesn't matter to me, so I have no beef at all. So,
well, I mean, it was about how Pixar had lost its way, and then Pixar has lost its way. So I feel a little bit better in the fact that I was right very early, and this actor was wrong.
Was wrong, but again, he's not a box office guy. He is an actor.
So why would he
can't
know?
blame him. Why would he know? And then he also asked, is there any significance to the way that you pronounce the number 9? And of course,
it's Baba Booey.
Baba Booey.
Yeah, my professional life is annoying.
Yeah. His personal life was a 2, but his professional life was annoying. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's
just know your history.
Yes. And then one last email. We got an email from the great Reed. Hey guys, if Hamilton is someone's Encino's, if Hamilton is someone's Encino man, is In the Heights someone's son-in-law, or more like an In the Army Now for some Encanto? For some people, Encanto might be someone's Biodome. Of course, we talked about how
Encanto is not Biodome. Encanto did very well.
Well, In the Heights. Encanto's not Biodome.
But In the Heights is jury duty.
Is jury duty. Yeah. Yeah. And Encanto, someone's Biodome. Yeah, Encanto did much better than Biodome, even though it did have a Tenacious D cameo, Biodome had no great song that came out of it.
No.
Whereas Encanto did have, what was it? They Don't Call Me Charlie?
Yes.
Bruno, Don't Call Me Bruno.
Yes.
That was, yeah. They had that song, that giant song, Don't Call Me Bruno,
Yep.
Don't Call Me Charlie. Whereas Biodome,
Don't Call Me Bruno, in parentheses, Don't Call Me Charlie.
That was the name of the song.
Yeah.
That was a huge hit from Encanto. But yeah, Biodome just didn't have a big song.
No.
Didn't have a big song. So let's get into our top 5 predictions.
What a doozy this is going to be, too.
This is a big one.
And then we have to, at the end, put where we think Lost Bus would go.
Well, that comes out next Friday.
Oh, you're
September
right.
19th.
You're right.
That comes out September 19th in theaters. If it is anywhere near you, go see, because it is great. I have seen this film. It is great. But you got to support the box office, and you got to support the guests of the show. Most important thing is, no matter who we have on the show, if we tell you support them,
you support them.
You support them. So you got to support guests of the show. So let us get to our predictions for the box office weekend of Friday, September 12th. Clayton, would you like to go first or second here?
I'll go first.
Great.
Number 1, Demon Slayer.
Wow.
$60 million.
Wow.
I think that's happening.
Wowie, wow.
This is a tough one, actually.
Yeah.
Number 2, I think, is going to be The Conjuring.
Wow. Okay.
Right? And I think The Conjuring is going to, I think it's going to drop like 61, but we're still in the 30s here.
Mm-hmm.
And then number 3, I think, is Downton Abbey.
Okay.
And Downton Abbey, I think that's going to be a close one, though. I do think that they're going to be fighting it out.
Okay.
Which is great. But I'm going to say Downton Abbey is going to make like 34.
Wow. Okay. So you're with me then, I guess. Yeah.
Under that, I think it's The Long Walk.
Yes.
I think The Long Walk makes it. And then under Long Walk is going to be, man.
I mean, we don't know what the Hamilton situation is. Was that a Fathom Event-y type deal, or is this going to be in theaters?
Yeah, but
no one cares at this point.
It's. I don't think it's going to be Tap. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Weapons.
Yeah, Weapons this is the week now where it has so much competition, because you've got horror movies, you've got The Long Walk. So I mean, Weapons is probably really going to drop.
I mean, but Hamilton, if it's still out, probably that's Hamilton's spot.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go number 1. I think Conjuring is going to be number 1. I think it's going to have a really good hold. And
you have no respect for Demon Slayer.
I guess I don't, because I'm going Conjuring at like 45 and Demon Slayer right under that at like 42.
Okay.
That's where I'm going, 1 and 2. Number 3, Downton Abbey, 38. So I my God, I mean, no matter how it plays out, this is going to be such a giant weekend that we could potentially have 3 movies doing 30 to 50 or 60 million opening. So number 3, Downton Abbey. Number 4, Long Walk. And I think it'll get to 16. I think it's going to get there. And then number 5.
13. I'm going to say 13 on it.
Number 5. You know what? Freakier Friday.
Because it's your thing.
Well, it's not my thing, but I bet you they filmed an alternate version, and I think people are starting to hope that if they go, the alt scenes will be in there. So
okay,
that's gonna. I feel like there's certain subreddits that, it's not my thing, but I check it on them where I think that is starting to be a discussion point. So I think Freakier Friday is number 5.
A disgusting point?
A discussion point.
Oh,
obviously not disgusting at all for those whose thing it is. Not
Yeah.
my thing, but it's a discussion point, not a disgusting point.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm so excited to do the results of this weekend because it's going to be just a lot of activity at the top of the box office. People will be going this weekend. So email us, theboboyspodcast@gmail.com. Subscribe to the Substack. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are YouTubers. Hey guys. So subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow us on social media at the BO Boys Pod on Instagram, on TikTok. Wannabe OVP of Interns Christopher, killing it with the vertical clips, and I'm sure at this point he's killing it in med school. I feel like we must have lost someone by now, but follow us at the BO Boys Pod, and that is it. 5 stars in Apple Podcasts. I got nothing else, Clayton.
Pat, I finished.
Great.
And you've said it all.
Yep.
There's
definitely
nothing left to be said.
Nothing at all. I can leave.
Except for, until next time,
We'll smell you at the box office. Nailed it. Hey guys.